Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're on question number 168 for our DevOps SRE interview preparations. The point of these videos is for you to get as familiar as possible with interview questions ahead of time so that when you get asked the question during an interview, you already have some idea about what that's all about and you feel comfortable, you feel confident that you got this. That's the whole idea of these set of videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. That's nothing for you, but it does wonders for my channels. Thanks for that. So as you know, I've done some research, and these are the 15 most important topics that you should be focusing on when you're studying for DevOps or SRE interviews. The ones at the top, like cloud, CICD, performance, development, these are more important than the ones at the bottom, like containers and system design. However, based on my intuition and my experience, I do think Kubernetes and Terraform are misplaced here, but that's just my intuition. Okay, today the topic we're going to cover is pretty broad. It covers cloud, specifically AWS and CI/CD, and a little bit of Kubernetes. So it's a broad topic question today. The question today is: how would you implement a CI/CD pipeline on AWS to automate the deployment of a containerized application? What services you're going to use, right? So how are we going to make the pipeline secure and reliable? So the idea of this question is you were heavily invested in AWS to begin with. That's the premise. And now you're going to leverage all of AWS's services to automate the deployment of some application that you already have containerized. You have a Docker image or images that does your application already. You want to make this pipeline work so that whenever you make a change in your image, it can go out and be deployed in staging and production. That's the pretext. That's the context of this question. So here the interviewer is looking for your overall knowledge of how a containerized application gets deployed and what tools you're familiar with in AWS. Now, this is a very broad question, so you don't have to know everything. If you know at least majority of the parts or the steps, you are good to go. Okay, just a reminder, Floyd Spencer is my advisor, career advisor. Please take advantage of his free 1 hour session. He's very passionate about helping people who are in the job market. And I am not financially affiliated with him, so I get nothing out of it. I just think that he is very passionate about helping people. Okay, so the major steps of this is this: you have code, and you are building an image from that code. So I'm talking about the top line here in the slide. Then that image gets into some kind of continuous integration pipeline. That then gets into some sort of continuous deployment pipeline that gets coded into infrastructure as code. And on top of all of this, you have monitoring and security set up so that your pipeline is reliable and secure. That's the idea. That's the broad answer to this question. Now let's dig a little deeper. So code management, you can use AWS's code commit application for doing that. It's basically like Git. If you can also use Git, they allow that. But that's the first step. Second step is the CI, this continuous integration. For that, you can use AWS code build. This is where a image gets built from the code you just committed. That's the second step. The third step is once you have an image build, that image needs to get deployed to staging and production, right? And that is the service in AWS for that is AWS code pipeline. So orchestrate this third step. Once you have a pipeline set up, the deployment can be done onto Amazon's ECS or EKS, or even there's another one, I forget the name of it, where all you do is put the container on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can put these artifacts, because once you have a CI pipeline, what you get is artifacts. Those artifacts then get deployed into either ECS or EKS, where the containers can run forever, or pods can run forever. That's the fourth step. The fifth step here is the coding of this. If you want to code any of this into infrastructure as code, as opposed to just doing GUI, you can take advantage of AWS's CloudFormation tool to do that, or even AWS CDK that they already have. Again, the point of this is for you to know the words, the names of the applications in AWS that makes it possible. So now that you have the pipeline built through code, you also need to monitor on your pipeline, and that can be done either through CloudWatch or CloudTrail, and or AWS's X-Ray. X-Ray is basically Amazon's solution to APMs, right? That's their APM basically. And of course, you have to use best practices for security, and that can be done with AWS's AMM tool, and also using AWS's Secret Manager, where you can keep your secrets, where your pipelines can retrieve the secrets without any exposure to anybody from outside. Okay, I hope you found this useful. Again, the idea of this question is for you to know what it takes to go from code all the way to production, and what tools AWS has to make that happen. You don't have to know every single step. As long as you know majority of the steps and you can talk about them with confidence in an interview, you are good to go. If you have further questions, you can find me on LinkedIn. I will try my best to answer your question as time permits. You can also leave a comment below. Again, if you are benefiting from these videos, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.